it's just enough to be wild for the evening. We fall apart to start believing. I know this feeling drips down my body, and the sadness is the real thing. And
Happy Thursday morning. I'm so glad you joined us for our early morning encouragement. We're going to have a great day today. I hope you have a great day. Let's sing along, get ready for the words of encouragement today.
The weapon may be formed, but it won't prosper. For when the darkness falls, it won't prevail. 'Cause the God I serve knows only how to triumph. And my God never fails, no he won't. Yes, my God will never fail. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. And I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. There's power in the mighty name of Jesus. Every war he wages, he will win. So I'm not backing down from any giants, 'cause I know how this story ends. Yes, I know how this story ends. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. 'Cause I'm gonna see a victory. 'Cause I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. 'Cause I'm gonna see a victory. 'Cause I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. 'Cause I'm gonna see a victory. 'Cause I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. Yeah. Belongs to you, Lord. 'Cause you take what the enemy meant for evil and you turn it for good. You turn it for good. You take what the enemy meant for evil and you turn it for good. Yes, you do, for good. You take what the enemy meant for evil and you turn it for good. You turn it for good. You take what the enemy meant for evil and you turn it for good. You turn it for good. 'Cause I'm gonna see a victory. 'Cause I'm gonna see to see the victory, for the battle belongs to you, Lord. Belongs to you, Lord. Everything I have is yours, and every battle that I fight with you, and you will win.
Hey, thanks for joining us again this Thursday morning. And I hope these words of encouragement are helpful to you. I know they do me good, because I have to think about God's word and apply them to my life. Today's no different. I'm actually picking some passages from Isaiah. And if you read the Bible on a regular basis, try and read it through every year like I do, you'll find that the Isaiah passages, sometimes in the Jeremiah passages, the Lamentations, they're sometimes hard to get something out of. But here's what I love. There's always gems in the middle of them if you look for them. Today's no different. And Isaiah, this is such a great passage. Isaiah 28, it's the first reading in today's reading. And I want to remind you, Isaiah is a prophet from God. So he hears from God, and he takes that message and he gives it to whoever God tells him to give it to. And so today is no different. He's been given a message from God. Now here's the thing. I don't think this message was for them. I think this message is for everybody, including me. Here's what he says. Therefore, this is what the sovereign Lord says, verse 16. Look, I'm placing a foundation stone in Jerusalem, a firm and a tested stone. Now let me just stop here for a minute, because you may not understand how important this is. I'm sitting here on this big old stone. We discovered this stone on our property, and we love this big stone. We take family pictures on it. We think about it all the time. It's just a great stone, and it's a pretty good sized stone. But when we were in Israel, if you go to the temple, what you discover is that there's actually a tour that takes you down underneath the walls of the temple, and you can see the original stones that they laid underneath the temple, and you can discover the cornerstone, the very cornerstone of the temple. The stone is enormous. It's huge. It's probably 10 times the size of this rock that I'm sitting on right here. It's so hard to imagine. And not only is it just a stone, but they took that stone and they squared it off, and they made it perfectly flat, and they made it perfectly plumb. So when he talks here about placing a foundation stone in Jerusalem, everybody in their mind should have had in their mind the cornerstone of the temple, this enormous rock that they used to level and square off to make the foundation of the temple. But here's what he's saying. It is a precious stone, a precious cornerstone, and it's safe to build on. Whoever believes need never be shaken. They don't understand it now. Jesus is not, or they're not talking about a stone that's a building temple stone. He's pointing to the future, that one day that Jesus is going to show up in the temple, and that the God of the universe is going to come down in human form. And he is the cornerstone that's worth building your life on. This was a prediction of something that would happen. And it's a prediction that's for us today, that he's that level cornerstone. Here's this. This is interesting. I will test you with the measuring line of justice and the plumb line of righteousness. This stone that Isaiah is talking about in the future, that is perfectly plumb, perfectly straight. And here's the thing, maybe for young people you don't know what a plumb line is, but a plumb is a string with a weight on it, and you could hold it up against the wall, and you could tell whether the wall was straight up and down by how far the plumb line would come away from the wall, or if it was just exactly in the right position. And so it's like for each of us in our lives, we're not measured against each other. Most of us look at each other and measure our life and say, well, I'm better than her, I'm better than him, I'm better than they are. And that's not how we should measure our life. Where we need to measure our life is against Jesus Christ. He's the plumb line of righteousness, and he's the true line of justice. And if we measure our life against him, we're going to find out that we come up short. But we begin to understand what real truth is, what our life needs to be measured against. And I also like what it says, whoever believes need never be shaken. So if you want to build your life on anything, just get on top of the cornerstone that was put in Jerusalem. His name is Jesus Christ. Some people say, oh, your religion is a crutch. You're just leaning on it. And here's how I like to respond to them. Say, I don't have a crutch. My relationship with God is not a crutch. My belief in Jesus Christ is not a crutch. I don't lean on it. I build my life on it. It is my foundation. It's something I stand on. It's something I live up to and I measure myself against. And it says that he is the plumb line of righteousness. So today, I just want you to think about that in your own life. As you build your life, make him your foundation. Make him your measuring stone. And someday, I want to take you to that spot where that cornerstone's laid. I want you to see what we saw underneath the wall, right up underneath the temple, to see those huge stones that talk about the cornerstone, which is really Jesus Christ. I hope you'll come join us on that. On the next trip we get a chance to, maybe when the coronavirus is over, we'll get to go. So let me just end with a couple of points in the list. Number one, I want to talk about what we can't control. More and more in our society is full of hate, and it's full of turmoil, it's full of riots, it's full of I think things that we misunderstand. People are making decisions that affect us that we have no control over. And every time I come up against one of those things, you know what I do? I stop and I give that to God. I say, God, this is out of my control. I can't do anything about it. But you know what I can do? Here's what I can do. I can pray every day for my brothers and sisters. I can pray every day for you, for your businesses, for your life. I can ask God to direct me to know what to do today. I can ask for what I need today. I can think differently than the rest of the world thinks. I can be positive. And those are things that I'm going to do today. And I can be thankful. So let me just be thankful today. Again, this coming weekend is going to be the very first service at Woodinville campus. Now there's two things that are happening. Not only is Woodinville campus complete, but we're signing papers this week and we're completing the sale, or we're moving toward completion of the sale in Lake Stevens. And while we have one campus done, I get excited about seeing another campus being built out. Now in reality, those are just buildings. They're just tools to be used of God. But I've seen God work in miraculous ways in our Woodinville campus. And I just would be remiss to not thank God. I'm thankful for people like you. Many of you invested in that Woodinville campus. I'm thankful for people like our construction manager, Billy, who gave for free a full year of his life just working on that project. And I'm thankful for so many contractors who stepped up, and when they knew what it was a work for God, they shared their faith and they did extra. Some of our dirt contractors would come back after work and work afterwards to help us out, even on Saturdays. And so many of the campus have done so much. You know what I'm reminded today? That it takes all of us to build God's kingdom. And so I challenge you, I'm thankful for you. Because while you may not be actually physically building the church, you're building his church. By inviting your friends, by sharing your faith, by sharing these encouragement moments, you're building his kingdom. May God help you do so, and I'm thankful for you. So finally, let me remind you that God works all things together for good to those that love him. I love God with all of my heart, and I hope that many of you love him too. If you don't love him, start loving him today.